Hey guys, my name is Dallas Hopt. Today I will be talking about developing an imagery script. So in an imagery script we have the PETTLEP program, and it's the physical nature of the movement, the specifics of the environment, the type of task, the timing of the movement, the learning, the content of the movement, the emotion, meaning to the individual of the movement, and the perspective of the person, both internal and external. So basically, um, these kind of um, make up what the imagery script is all about. I'll go through my made up imagery script for shooting a free throw in basketball. Now, um, shooting a free throw is definitely one event that people um, eye out, especially when watching basketball, as something that can make or break a game. Um, when games are decided by 1, 2 points, every point counts and every possession matters. So you have certain guys like um, famous for being good free throw shooters, and like Kobe Bryant, and you have guys that are infamous for being bad free throw shooters like Shaquille O'Neal. Um, and at the end of a player's career, they can actually be kind of um, criticized or praised for that specific skill because it is a skill set. So going through each individual free throw, we'll just start with the first one, the physical nature of the movement, the P, physical. So physical nature meaning what the player is going through physically um, in a game that is so back and forth. There's few stops. Um, it's a high intensity sport. Um, the player is often fatigued or tired coming into a free throw. Again, the free throw is one of the only stops in the game, and it's kind of a spot where you can kind of catch your breath. However, the the aspect of shooting a free throw adds a lot of pressure on the specific person. So the physical um, nature of the movement would be to start with the legs. Make sure that you bend the legs and the knees, because just like lifting something, it all starts from the lower body. That's making sure that the shot doesn't fall short of the rim. And then as the player moves towards the peak of their shot, the arms go up and follow through, straightening the elbow, and the wrist curls to what we call a gooseneck. Now, the player is supposed to hold that at the top, and then that's where the fatigue comes in. Oftentimes, players can not hold their follow through or have bad follow through, and it can cause them to miss the shot. Um, all of this plays into whether the shot goes long, short, side to side, and it can really affect the shot based on the player's fatigue. So the next one is the specifics of the environment. Now, usually it depends on what level you're playing at. You could be playing at a high school gym, college court or arena, or even in the pros at a stadium. Um, Obviously, the higher the level, the bigger the crowd gets. But in in any case, you have one player shooting a free throw at a time, so all eyes are on the specific player. You have fans in the stands that are looking down on the player. You have players lining the free throw line, and all the attention, all the pressure is on them. Now, not to mention, depending on if you're playing a home game or an away game, the away fans or visiting fans can be a bit rowdy. So you can hear noise coming from the crowd, or when you're playing at home, it can be silent, which can also believe it or not, hinder you in making you less focused or distracting you or just adding more pressure to the situation. Now, the type of task, it's obviously a physical task. And like I said before, it's done when you're fatigued or tired. The stop of the play is only for 2 free throws, usually. And it allows allows the player to rest, but the pressure increases and the heart rate increases as well. So if you're the player that's shooting the ball, you don't necessarily get as much rest from the level of fatigue that all the other players get. So the next one would be the timing of the movement. Timing is definitely essential because the force, like I said, is generated from the legs and flows as you go up. The body needs to stay in line and continuously move up in the same motion, and the ball needs to be released at the peak of the shot. So I was always taught to take a deep breath before shooting. That allows you to kind of keep one thing consistent when focusing on the timing. Now, this is kind of involved with the learning of the movement as well, learning of the content of the movement. But every player has a free throw routine that they do. Mine, when I was playing, was spinning the ball, 2 dribbles, spinning the ball again in my hands, deep breath, and then shoot. That's what I did no matter what. Every time when I went to the free throw line, it allowed me to get my timing in sync. It allowed me to remember the practice that I had done when I was by myself in the gym, and it helped me to kind of block out all the excess factors that were in the gym and in the moment. So kind of calmed my nerves, lessened the pressure, and allowed me to focus on myself and focus on the task at hand, which was shooting the free throw. The emotion of the individual in the moment the goal is to try to stay calm, cool, and collected. Again, it's one of the aspects of the game where all pressure is on that one person that's shooting the free throws, especially at the end of game situation when you have the score is tied, and if you make the free throw, then you win the game. If you miss the free throw, then you lose the game. There's so much pressure that's put on just that one person, and even though the game is compiled of so many different plays, at the end of the day, fans, a lot of times, other players look at the end of game situations and kind of plays that didn't go their way, and kind of give that the main focus as to why they didn't win the game or why they did win the game. So all that emotion is kind of built up, and it's all on one person's shoulders, the player that's shooting the free throw. Now, the perspective of the person, internal and external, is kind of the same as the emotion. You have if the player makes the free throw, then they win the game and they're ecstatic. They're the hero of the day. And if they miss the free throw, then they lose the game and they're the bad guy all of a sudden. And fans are kind of why is he playing, or questioning why was he in the game at the end. They could feel at fault for that, and that's a hard thing to deal with emotionally. Now, usually teams try to stick together at win or lose. It's like I said, it doesn't come down to just one play. There's many plays in the game, and teammates try to stick together, and coaches help with that as well, saying, look, maybe the player didn't make the free throw, but there was a couple other players who could have made other plays, and it didn't, and the ball didn't fall in the basket, and the game didn't go our way. But that could be flipped around, and players can make plays, and the player shooting the free throw can make the free throw at the end, and and it comes down to the game-winning shot. So those are both the internal and external perspectives of the person. So those are my PET TLEP programs in the imaginary script, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.